Rocket, 600 games, other than maybe old, how does it make you feel?
It does make you feel old. Yeah, I think it's more like, you talk about the players when they reach milestones. I think it'd be something to talk about when you finish and retire. Must have been snuck up on me. I didn't realise till Monday or Tuesday when Marcus spoke to me about it. But I don't know if humbling's the right word, but you're sort of, I suppose, more thrilled to be involved in the game for so long. But hopefully there's a few more years left.
SUNS newcomer Daniel Curry's on this side. Have you managed to get, obviously used to play for North Melbourne, and managed to get any tips ahead of your game this week?
I was speaking to Dan, had his intel. I mean, they've improved as a team from last year. They're playing some really good footy, so they haven't got any injuries. No, they're at full strength, so I don't think we're under any illusions how tough the contest is going to be, but it's good for Dan to get his first game. His performance in the seconds has been very encouraging, and obviously it's a big task for him against Goldstein, but we're looking forward to it.
You won 3 of your past 5 encounters, I think, against North Melbourne, so not too bad, like a pretty good record.
I think it was 1 3 of the last 4 or something. So I think that'll give the guys some confidence. But having said that, North are a good side. I don't think history really plays too much. Another fact, we had never beaten Fremantle. We never won in Perth, and we were able to do that. So I don't think history changes what you're going to do on the night. So we just got to bring our effort that we didn't bring last week.
You beat these guys last week's a distant memory because it really set you up for the season. The momentum's back and you've beaten the top.
Yeah, and that's vital to get back on the horse. And obviously disappointing last week, but we need to get back. And there's no bigger challenge than Kangas on top of the ladder and playing some really good footy. So as I said before, under no illusions how tough it's going to be. But the players have trained well this week. Their energy's up, so we need a good performance.
Tom Lynch has a pretty good record, I think, against the Kangaroos in the past. So is that someone you're going to be pinning?
He didn't last year. Charlie Dixon kicked 7 last year. I think Tom had a bit of a down game, but Tom's really improved as a player. He's maturing, so obviously he's one of the players that are key to us in the forward line. But we're trying to generate a forward line that we can share the goals. So hopefully that can happen tomorrow night.
How difficult is the task of stopping their forwards, Robert? Obviously, without your own 2 keys.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult. That's going to be a difficult task. I think it's really got to be just one in the midfield. I know we say that every week, but really we've got to deny them access. We've got to try and help our defence by either stopping the ball getting there or putting some pressure on when they do kick. Because they're very efficient once they go inside 50. They do score once they get in there. So we've got to be able to minimise that by putting pressure on at the source.
Does that make Dion's loss?
Say that again?
Does that make Dion's absence tougher?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. When you lose another midfielder, but anyway, the players have responded in the past, so certainly got some confidence in the midfield we've got.
Bit unlucky in terms of the illness stuff. I think you had a couple of guys out with illness.
Yeah, we had a bit go through last week. And probably Gaz has been a victim of that as well. Gaz, we had about 4 or 5 last week. A couple didn't play. So we're just over the worst of it now. So that's all gone. Obviously Dion's just got some remnants. He started to get it on Saturday last week. So he's been a bit crook, but hopefully we're over the worst of it.
Okay, so just kind of the one virus affecting a few blokes.
Yeah, that's just all fixed up, so it's all gone.
You look quite undersized at the back there, Robert, compared to their forwards. Was it a difficult selection process, and did you consider bringing in another sort of genuine tall guy in that back half?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, there's not many to select from, so you just weigh it up. Yeah, there was heavy debate about that, but nothing else I can say.
So you sort of are you confident that you can outrun them? Like that your run is going to be
Well, I think you got to play to our assets. I mean, there's 2 ways to go. Do we go really defensive and get numbers back, or do you back your assets and make a bit of a shootout? So that's something that we've got to weigh up. Maybe you might get some numbers back to support our defence and obviously try and get them back on the slingshot the other way. But we certainly need to help our defence, there's no doubt about that.
You look pretty
at full strength, you look pretty well equipped for key position players, and then you lose to them and suddenly it becomes bare. And you've built your midfield strength over the last couple of years through the draft and recruiting. Do you think it's time to target some more?
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I've mentioned it probably last year internally that that's the one area that we haven't got a lot of depth. We've got the two key backs, but not a lot underneath.
Yeah.
And if one area that we couldn't get injuries was probably that area, which now exposed us a bit. But having said that, we've got to support each other and work that, I think it was West Coast last year, lost 2 key defenders and they were undersized. They probably had a good one in McGovern, but they were able to get the job done, so we've got to take some sort of learnings from that.
The game has changed incredibly since your first game as a player. It's even changed since your first game as a coach. The fundamentals are still pretty much the same. What sort of state, having the career spanning as long as yours, is our game in good shape at the moment?
Oh, I think it is. It looks great at the moment. I think. I noticed last year that coaches were trying to score more quickly, but the defensive mechanisms were fantastic. And I think over the summer, coaches have gone to another level to try and move the ball quickly. I think coupled with the 2 new rules has made the game more continuous and the ball's involved more, so there's more chance of scoring. So I think from that aspect and what you're reading here, that the supporters are pretty happy with.
You played through a golden era. I'm not suggesting you've become complacent about premierships, but you won a lot of them, and it's been elusive for you as a coach. Is that what burns you to keep going, or is it?
No, not at all. No, that's not a driver, to be honest. I mean, what happens, and I think my point of view, if you want to get a premiership as a coach, then it's all about you, and it's not. It's all about the players and the club, and that'll happen if it ever happens. But no, there's not a driver as such. No, it's I must admit I enjoy the role. I like coaching, I like developing young people. So that's the thing that drives me. With the results that come, well, they come, and so I'm not blasé about premiership. No.
Have you mellowed?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's different society now, different people. And interesting, I saw on Fox last night, they said about the review was very sharp, and Dermot said he heard it from Melbourne. Well, couldn't be more measured. So I don't know. So it's just marvellous how people get a thought in their head and think things are going to happen the same way. But nah, yeah, very mellow. Yeah.
Do you still have a rocket in you every now and again?
Oh, every now and then you have one. So I think really, it's such a young group too. You educate and teach, but the same token, they don't know what they don't know. A lot of players don't, and a lot of players can't motivate themselves to get up week in and week out. So they need to be on edge a bit. And the biggest thing you've got is selection. You've got to have integrity around that. But at the same time, if they don't perform, you've got to be told they're not playing well, and that's what you expect from them. I think sometimes we, as a society, can mollycoddle a bit much. And I think sometimes there needs to be some good direction and some good rules around.
Is that because of the professionalism now, that their livelihoods are guaranteed? Like, the players less desperate?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. No, I don't think so. I think generally that they want to work out, but as I said, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know sometimes what it takes to be a professional footballer. So therefore, good cultures, good leadership, good direction from older players and coaches can enable that. So when if you ever have a club where they've got so many young blokes, I mean, they don't know. So you don't mean it's the wrong way. They can't trust them week in and week out to know what they're going to be able to do and be able to prepare to play at that elite level every week, because it's a tough competition. It's tough, and I think full credit to the players. They really throw themselves in. I don't think it's ever been tougher to play the game with the physicality and the expectations of the preparation and what they go through and what the game demands. Apart from physically playing it, it's just the knowledge they've got to take on board and the education they've got to take, and players who can't do that don't survive either.
Obviously, a lot of your focus is on what happens tomorrow, but have you given much thought to the game in China next year? Oh
yeah, that's been forefront of my mind from day one about China. Nah, haven't even thought about it. I don't know if it's confirmed, is it, that we're there? But no, haven't even thought about it. Not on my radar.
Right, just the quick one on Jared Green, sorry. Was he pretty close to making himself into the top 22 before the rules changes?
It was spoken about 2 weeks ago. Had a 3 games back. Didn't play well 2 weeks ago, but his form was good last week. He would have been in anyway.